Hi guys, and welcome back to Semajical Reviews, the internet review show where I review anything from movies to toys. I don't do music, and I don't do video games. Well, eventually I will do mobile games, but that's as far as I'll go. But we're now going to get into the third and final part of the trilogy of reviews on my top favourite, or my favourite musical films. Now, last time I did Oliver, and before that I did Mary Poppins. So what's the third of the big three? Well, if you'll just direct your look, your vision towards my t-shirt, yeah, there you go. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Released by MGM Pictures in 1968, based on the book of the same name by Ian Fleming, a British author, as one of the only non-James Bond novels he ever wrote. Now, what does the story entail? Well, Caractacus Potts is an inventor. Who has invented many marvelous machines, including a breakfast machine, and the invention we are actually watching him test out at the beginning of the film, rockets. His children, Jeremy and Jemima, never go to school. Instead, they go and play at Coggins' junkyard, where their old family car is said to be sold to the junk man who wants to scrunch it all up. So Jeremy and Jemima convince him to keep hold of the car and sell it to their dad, Caractacus, who's played by Dick Van Dyke, by the way, for 30 shillings. He agrees to do that. So they rush off home to tell their dad. This is where they are nearly knocked down running across the road by Truly Scrumptious, played by Sally Ann Howes, who offers them a lift home and then plays truant officer, berating their dad for not making them go to school. Now, after all this is blown over, they sit down to dinner, and this is where we meet the grandfather, played by Lionel Jeffries. And this is where Jeremy and Jemima tell Caractacus about the car, and they'll work something out. How do they do this? Well, it turns out that, at first, we are introduced to little sweets that like whistles when you blow into them. He goes to try and sell those off to Lord Scrumptious, Truly's dad, who owns a sweet factory. And his pitch goes awry. I forgot to mention they have a family dog called Edison, obviously named for Thomas Edison. So in the end, Caractacus joins a travelling fun fair, first with a hair-cutting machine, which doesn't go according to plan, and then with a song and dance number, which makes him the money to buy the car, which he does up. And Well, this is where the story actually comes into play. They go for a picnic at the beach, and the kids want Karaticus to make up a story. So he makes up a story about a car that not only drives, but also flies and floats. As they are taken all the way to Bulgaria, where there are no children allowed, and they have the child catcher come out and catch the kids. This is where we meet the toy maker, who actually helps to try and hide the kids. But they end up getting captured anyway, and they get taken to Baron Bombburst, who sentences them to be locked in the dungeon. And then we learn the reason why children are outlawed in this country. It's because the Baroness hates children. Which is a tad hypocritical, if you ask me, because they have all these toys, which are obviously designed for children, but the actual Baron Bombburst himself is a childlike ruler of Bulgaria. And there's a whole island offside where all the other children who have come to the country have been, well, sent to be isolated. And so it then becomes a rescue mission. Needless to say, the kids are rescued, as is their grandfather, and they are able to free the country of Bulgaria from the evil clutches of the Baron and his wife. Now, at the very end of the film, shock horror, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, what we believe to have been a story about a flying and floating car turns out to have been true, because we see the car flying off at the end of the film. Without propellers, mind you. So that's the story. Now, on to the characters themselves. Okay. So first off, we have Karaticus Potts, played by Dick Van Dyke, as I previously mentioned, the eccentric inventor of the story, who invents the flying floating car. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Then we have Truly Scrumptious, played by Sally Ann Howes. She's the daughter of the owner of the sweet factory in the story, who befriends Jeremy and Jemima, and eventually befriends Karaticus Potts after telling him off for letting his kids bunk off school. And then, of course, we have the grandfather, played by Lionel Jeffries, who's always saying that he's going to go off on expeditions to other parts of the world, when really he's just going to the outhouse. Okay, so those are our three main adult characters. Now, Jeremy and Jemima, I actually forget who played the kids. But they're Karaticus Potts' two young children, and they're right little scamps. Let's just leave it at that. As a matter of fact, let's just now move on to the music of the film. And we got such great musical numbers in this film as the title song itself, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. You Two, or I Have You Two. No, I'm not going to sing it. Truly Scrumptious, Doll on the Music Box, Hushabye Mountain, Posh, The Roses of Success, okay, so all that's left to do now is actually let you know what I thought of everything now. This film is actually, as I said at the beginning, one of my all-time favourite musical films. And it always will be. So, with that being said, if it's a favourite of any of yours, let me know in the comments below. And this is where the trilogy of me reviewing my 3 all-time favourite musical films ends, guys. And next up for review will be South Park Season 6. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a Semajical time.